Welcome to the program. I'm Seun Okinbaloye and we're live for you from Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State. After much of the coverage of the Ekiti governorship election, we now know who wins in the race. A lot of issues are trailing that election. So after a long wait, months and months of campaigns and preparations, Ekiti governorship election being signed, sealed and delivered. A winner has emerged in a hard-fought race. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Sunday declared Dr. Kade Fayemi of the All Progressives Congress APC as the winner of the governorship poll.
University of Ibadan, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the Ekiti State governorship election held on the 14th day of July 2018. That the election was contested, that the candidates received the following votes: Jacob Abiodun Aluko, 250 votes. Of A, the political party is A. Comrade Shola Omolola, AA, received 41 votes. John Olukayode Fayemi of APC received 197,459. Olushola Kolapo Olubumi of PDP received 178,121 votes. 178,121 votes. John Olukayode Fayemi of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Signed by my uncle self, Idowu Olayinka, dated this 15th day of July, year 2018.
Keenly contested race. In fact, the winner in the race will attest to that fact. The figures also will tell us exactly what that means. That look, both on the top and the leading in the race had fought a very tough race. So the candidate of the PDP, the deputy governor of the state, Professor Kolapo Olushola, has also been speaking about the outcome of this election. Perhaps not so happy about the outcome of the election. And these are his thoughts.
Security agencies not only supported, but also supervised, one, the indiscriminate arrest of our party leaders and agents. Two, the harassment and brutalization of voters on a massive scale, especially in Laud, Ikere, and the suburbs. Three, giving cover, tacit as well as active support to talks imported into Ekiti by APC to smash ballot boxes, create confusion, cause mayhem, and drive away voters in PDP strongholds. Giving cover to APC agents as they financially and openly induced voters and bought votes at polling stations. And driving away our polling agents from collation centers and legal seizure of documents and materials in their possessions, among many other infractions.
Well then, you've heard from the winner in the race and perhaps the runner-up in this election. There are a lot of issues that have been raised. The PDP is not happy. The APC is in a happy mood. But let's attempt some kind of post-mortem. We'll break it down all for you. We'll get to hear from some of the key players in this election tonight, and some other people who played key roles, but they were not politicians. Analysts tonight on the program. Let's get them talking on the program. I have joining me on the program tonight the head of the African Union Observer Group in the Ekiti election, Ambassador Chinwe Madueke, joins us on the program. Also is Mr. Ezenwa Nwagu, is the Executive Director of Partners for Electoral Reforms and a board member of GIAGA. Thank you so much for joining us. And Mr. Abiodun Ajijola is a National Coordinator of Election Monitor. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Perhaps let me begin with you. How would you assess this election compared to perhaps the last election Nigeria, the INEC coordinated or conducted?
This election, we obviously saw quite a lot of recommendations from the past election being put in effect. We saw a lot of corrections, that a lot of corrections had been made. We also saw a lot of, recommendations in terms of the disabled people having much more access than they had, and the visually impaired, and also the elderly, the pregnant women as well, making sure that they had preferential, treatments given to them, of course, because of the nature of who they were. So quite a lot of improvements had gone in to this particular election as compared with the previous ones before.
If a lot of people said this election was going to be a litmus test for INEC ahead of the 2019 election, what kind of test is it? Do they come out with a pass, or how would you assess them?
I'll give them a pass, but then again, it's work in progress. We're still making, INEC is still making strides. More recommendations have been made, and hopefully they'll put that into effect so that we have a much more fine-tuned process in place for 2019 next year.
Mr. Nwago, you are one of, you're on the board of YAGA, and you set up the watching the vote system where you were able to, in fact, you had the assumptions of the results prior to when INEC even released its own result. But by and large, from your perspective, the margin that you have from the result that you had and that of INEC, from that standpoint, what do you make of this election?
Well, watching the vote had, we'd had several press conferences in which we had made certain recommendations. And we did say that if the results that is released does not match our range, that we will expose what probably went wrong in the election. But we are confident that we're in a safe place, that the margin of our own estimates and that of INEC just had virtually maybe 2%.
Which for you is a good one.
No, excellent.
If you compare to Anambra, margin.
It was a much more difficult.
What margin did you have in Anambra?
I can't get it off heart now, okay. But what is important is that the excitement in the watching the votes project today was that, look, we had a much more excellent data.
Okay.
Than we had.
So for a lot of Nigerians or viewers who do not understand what this watching the vote system is all about, is some kind of technology and some kind of monitoring of the election by independent observer group, and they will have their own result compiled independent of the umpire.
It's called parallel voter tabulation.
Exactly.
PVT.
So that's exactly what happened, and the margin of vote you did say was about 2%.
Yes.
So, if you are to, like I asked, if you are to assess INEC compared to what they did in Anambra, and now, if you're a lecturer in the classroom, how would you assess INEC?
I think in terms of, we will engage from the point of accreditation and voting and when the polls opened. In this particular election, by 7:30, about 78% of the polling units were open. By 9 o'clock, virtually close to 98% of the polling stations were opened. So that puts us in a comfortable place to say that the challenge of logistics, movement of election materials, they have made significant progress in that area. And coupled with the new initiative of tracking the materials from the INEC Center, I think everyone is excited about that. That means that the diversion of election materials will, radically not be, people will not be able to divert materials anymore. So you can, even, I was with the INEC commissioner in charge of Southwest when that tracking was going on, and he was showing their vehicle that went to Yado kept shouting, being stationary. So it gave them confidence that at least their materials are in safe hands. So generally speaking, it is confident to say that election administration, INEC radically improved in its what it gave out in my estimation.